In today's video, we take a break from our normal content and talk about something you've probably never seen before. There are several of you guys that have pointed this out in the videos, but aside from that, to most people, this will be a new idea. Let me bring you in close and show you what we're talking about. 62 million Americans deal with foot pain every year. And if you're anything like me, when it comes to foot pain, you just ignore it. Or at least you ignore it until you can't ignore it anymore. Let me tell you a story, and then we'll jump into this cool idea. So these are the shoes that I wear every single day. And for work, I'm a machinist. So what that means is I'm on my feet constantly. Day in and day out, I'm standing on concrete floors, and I'm walking over chips and stepping on metal dust, and the environment's pretty tough. Now these boots are probably a year old, and they're pretty rough, but they still have another 6 months on them. But the point is, getting good shoes is important. That's not what this video is about. But sometimes, even with good shoes and with orthopedic inserts, it's not enough. And especially if you stand on your feet all day long on hard surfaces, you know that. So what I did is I went to physical therapy. And I went to physical therapy and a podiatrist to try to figure out how to fix my plantar fasciitis. It developed over time. Sometimes I'll get it in one foot, sometimes the other. And for years, I've battled this. And the inserts do help, especially the expensive ones. Good shoes do help. And mats on the floor in front of equipment also help. But none of them really were able to solve it for me. Now, this next product I'm going to show you is not being used for its intended purpose. But I've retrofitted it for a new purpose, and it seems to solve my plantar fasciitis and any foot pain that I have in a little bit of a unique way. After spending thousands of dollars with a foot doctor, with a physical therapist, and even with a natural health doctor, I realized that none of that was really going to work. So I do what I do most times when I'm stuck. I come up with an idea that sounds crazy, probably won't work, but I give it a shot. And that's how most of my ideas come to me. I ask myself what would make the most sense. I look online, see if something exists. Most of the time it does. I buy it, I try it, and I move on with my life. But every once in a while, I come up with an idea that I search and I don't see anyone trying it. And usually it's because it's just too crazy or too simple, or it just doesn't make any sense. But I came up with this idea and I didn't see anyone trying it, so I decided to give it a try, and guess what? It 100% works. It's cheap, it's effective, and it's a piece of foam. That's right, a simple piece of foam. Here's how the idea started, and here's where we came to. One day I was standing in front of a piece of machinery on a rubber mat, and I thought to myself, what if I had a rubber mat taped to the bottom of my foot everywhere I went? In theory, it sounds great. In practice, obviously it makes no sense. But I like the idea, and so I took that idea down a rabbit hole to see what it would be like if I literally had an anti-fatigue mat strapped to my foot wherever I went. And that's where I found this product. Immediately, I began brainstorming how I could make the perfect product. But then I stopped. I searched, and lo and behold, the product already exists, but it's marketed for a completely different purpose. So great news. I didn't need a prototype, I didn't need to invent, I didn't need to do anything. All I had to do is click order, try it out, and see if it worked. If it didn't, all I lost was $70. If it worked, well, guess what? We just came up with a brand new idea, and that's exactly what happened. So I bring you the shoe leveler. Now this product is intended to be used as a leveling device for those of you who are wearing a foot boot or cast. When you have a cast on one foot and you're wearing your shoe, generally the cast is thicker, and so you're walking uneven. So this device is designed to pad up the other shoe so that way you walk evenly and you minimize pain. So I went ahead and ordered 2 of these and decided to wear them completely full time, not only to see how long they would last, because they're only intended to be used for a short time, but also to see if they would work. And they have made a huge difference. So these in particular have a couple benefits. The first benefit is they come with multiple levels of padding. So that's good because you can decide how much padding you want on your foot, depending on how mobile you are or what your weight is or anything like that. And the other thing is it's modular. So they can pretty much fit any shoe and come in any size. The real question is how long does something like this last? So I paid about $35 each, so about $70 together, and I change them out about every 6-7 months. And for me, I would say I'm an extreme example. And what that means is, just to give you a backstory, every morning I wake up and I longboard about half a mile to my car. I live in the city and I park really far away. I get to work, I'm on my feet constantly. I probably walk about 6 to 9 miles a day just back and forth in my shop. I'm constantly stepping on chips, dirt, grime. Sometimes I'm power washing, grease. So it's a pretty extreme case, but even still, 6 months, 7 months is pretty decent for me. And I would imagine that you'd probably get a little bit longer if you had them under a more normal condition. The other side benefit is when you take these off, the bottom of your shoe is pretty much unworn because it never really hits the ground. So not that I do wear without these, but if you wanted to ditch these, the actual sole life of your shoe is going to be significantly increased. And at least for me, my boots tend to last longer. I don't know about you guys, but if you wear boots and you're on your knees a lot, the toes tend to wear out. Now on my boots, I've been getting this treatment on the end. It's called a tough toe, and it helps the toes from wearing through. But adding this extra protection on the bottom keeps my shoes off of the ground. Not only does it help if you're standing on water to try to minimize getting water in your boot in the winter, but also it just really helps keep the toe off of the ground. And so I find that my toes don't wear out as much on the boots, so that's a really nice benefit as well. But at the end of the day, not everything is sunshine and rainbows with this product because everything has trade-offs. The biggest drawback of these guys is probably right in the beginning when you're getting used to it. It's not because you're standing taller or you have something under your boot. Rather, it's that you have something under your shoe that moves separate from your shoe. All right? Now the size on this boot is an XL and the boot size is 11, and you can see that it's a little bit oversized from the boot. I have tried a smaller size, which I believe would be a large, and it is a tighter fit, but I have found that at least for me, whether it's just being in a harsh environment in my shop or whether it's longboarding and putting a lot of pressure when you're pushing off, the size that fits tight on my boot actually wears out quicker. For whatever reason, being a little bit loose in the boot gives some give and stretch for the rubber, and I think it tends to last longer. But in the beginning, when you're walking around, it's gonna feel a little bit strange because this can shift under your boot. Now that does go away after a couple weeks because your boot sort of wears into the foam and it finds a home, but it still has the ability to move around, which is actually kind of nice. So do I think this is gonna work for every single situation? Absolutely not. If you're on your feet in a mudded trench, this is not gonna be a great idea. These get muddy. I've worked outside before in the mud and they get stuck. They add extra weight, they fall off. That's not gonna be great. But if you're working indoors on concrete most of the time, I think these could be a really viable option for that type of individual. Well, that's pretty much it. A nice short and sweet video sharing something with you guys that I love. It's low risk, low cost, and I hope it really helps some of you guys out there. I am super curious to see what you guys think about this in the comments, especially if you end up purchasing some of these and what your thoughts are after wearing them. Now, I did put a link down in the description. It is an affiliate link. I really don't like the affiliate program, but I thought, hey, maybe a couple people would buy these, so I went ahead and put that link down there so it's nice and easy to find. Please comment down below. Let me know what you think of this crazy idea, and we'll see you guys in the next one.